Let's talk about the 3 books that I read in March. So hi and welcome back my fellow fantasy book lovers, or if you're new here, hi and welcome. My name is Kathy and I'm a fantasy book enthusiast from Belgium. For today's video we are going to be doing the books I read in March video, and one of them actually had an entire video dedicated to it. It is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So if you want to know my in-depth thoughts about this particular book, then there is the live stream that will be up here. This is definitely a fantasy romance book, as the romance line between the 2 main characters is the majority of what happens in this book. We have our female protagonist, and in the beginning of the book we kind of get, for me it felt like the Nevernight trilogy. At the start of the book she's like a very badass assassin type character, but she has kind of like memory loss. It's not especially amnesia, because the memories will be getting back to her some part in the book, but I felt like maybe that wasn't necessary. And this book is written in a very engaging style for me. So we have chapters from our character's point of view, we have the main story, and then we have letters from a different character being written in the past, so you get filled in with more and more details. Now, this book was full of twists and turns. I read it in 2 days. It is a very fast and engaging read. So if you're looking into a book that has romantasy in a fantasy world that has dragons, although the dragons are not super present in the book, you have different types of dragons. They don't talk like the dragons in Fourth Wing, but they are nonetheless like creatures with separate divisions or like races in them. So you have the moon dragons who live in the snow parts of the world, and wherever they travel into like the more sunnier parts, they need like some protection, etc., because otherwise they burn. There are fire dragons. So there are a few different types of dragons, but it's really not the main focus of this book. The main focus of this book is our female main character that we follow. You can definitely expect violence in this book, and also finding back the memories and figuring out what is actually going on. And I think I gave this book a 4 or 5 stars. I did really enjoy it, and I could highly recommend it if you haven't read it before. This book, I believe, is the start in a series, and I will of course be keeping an eye out on the next parts in this series as well. Now, I know that March was supposed to be my dragon month. However, I got my hands on Lightfall by Ed Crocker. This was one of my anticipated releases for the first part of this year, so when I got it, I had to read it. Now, I took my time reading this book, hence why there's only 3 books in this video and not 4 or 5 like there usually are. Lightfall by Ed Crocker is said to be the next Empire of the Vampire, written in a similar style as J. Kristoff. It is not. And if you haven't been around on my channel before, Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned, I have the special colored edition up here, is my holy grail book. It is the book that I will die on a hill protecting it and rooting for it. It is amazing. It is one of the best vampire books that I've read in a very, very, very long time, and that's saying a lot because I tend to devour vampire-based books. But J. Kristoff's writing style in Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned is uncomparable to anything I've read so far. It's an interview style, but it's very witty, it's very easy to read, even if it has heavier themes. Now, Lightfall by Ed Crocker is in a similar type of world building, if that makes sense. It's not the same world at all. In this world building, you have the people that don't die, but they are not people. They are either werewolves, either vampires, or some sort of type of mages. So these eternals, the people who live forever, are actually facing a threat, which is called the Greys. Now, there have been wars amongst them, amongst the vampires and the werewolves before, and the sorcerers, but now they're all kind of banding together, or like trying to see what these Greys are. Now, in this book, we follow 2 points of views. First of all, we have Sam, who is the lowest class servant you can have in vampire society. Vampire society has 3 tiers. The top tier, which is like royalty, kings, queens, princes, what have you. The second tier is like the middle class citizens that are more important, so lords and ladies, but not like king level. And then you have the lowest tier, and it is like the normal people and servants. And depending on which of these three categories you fall within, you might have a different job and also access to different blood. So the lowest level vampires drink cow's blood, and they actually age and they die as well from old age. Whereas the top tier bloods are like werewolf blood is like the top blood. You have fox blood, you have what have you. All of the animal bloods are incorporated in the different tiers. So the first character we follow is Sam. She's a servant in this palace. And yeah, she's cleaning up messes of the High Lords, etc. And one of the people she needs to clean up for is the prince that got murdered by the Greys outside of the city walls. And the other point of view that we have is this High Lord whose son, the prince, just died by the Greys. And they're both trying to figure out what is going on, what these Greys are, why they attack certain people, why they don't attack others. It is a very interesting book, but book one is really the setup for more. I loved the characters in it, I loved the setup of the book, but it needs more. So book one is good, it's not great, it's good, but you will have to read book two, in my opinion, when it comes out, to have more going on, because this was really info-packed and a very heavy read, in my opinion. It definitely didn't read as fluidly or as fast or as engagingly as J. Kristoff's writing is. So comparing it to each other, I get it from someone who hasn't read the books maybe. They have similar themes going on, but it's definitely not the same type of book. The thing is, I liked this book, but I want more from it, as in I want a completed series to read book 2 and 3, because this was just an info dump, in my opinion, or like majority of it was an info dump. And we get a really thorough explanation near the end of the book of what is actually going on, and then it stops. Yay. And then the final book that I read during March was That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. This book is part of a series called Meat Mishaps. They all have female protagonists that are of colored skin, so all black skin. They are curvier, they have strong personalities, and I really did enjoy the world building of this book. Now, in this third installment, we follow a girl that is related to the other two girls from the first two books. So the girl from the first book is the best friend of the girl from the second book, and I will not spoil how they are related to the third girl, but they know each other. Now, in this book, the girl that we follow is being kept hostage or captive by a dragon in a tower. She's being fed, there are several things happening to her, like there's a storm happening and she's being protected from it, but she wants to escape. Now, this dragon is kind of protecting her and doesn't let her escape. And then one day someone arrives to the tower, talks with the dragon, and actually tries to take her away and help her escape. This book was full of miscommunication between the two main characters and misunderstandings, but in a good and funny way. This is very smut heavy, just so you know, and this is a pure, simple romantasy book. There are lots of creatures involved in these books. There's dragons, there's demons, there's werewolves, there's a lot of things that are happening, but the main storyline is about our two main characters, of course, that will end up together. So these were the three completely different books that I read during the month of March. It was not my most productive reading month, and so far April has not been super good either. I have read Immortal Dark so far, I was reading Anno Dracula, but I DNF'd it, because it just felt like Jack the Ripper meets vampires, and I'm really not into that. So hopefully the April video will have at least 2 other books in it that I do really enjoy. I did really enjoy Immortal Dark. I will talk about it more in the next video. But for my April vampire month, of course, all of the books that I will feature in that video will be vampire themed. And then starting May, I will get back to mood reading and maybe doing a few other fun things on my channel for my TBR. That also means that the May book club doesn't really have a specific theme. However, the poll that you can vote on until May 1st is already up on my channel. So there's 4 books that you can choose from, and the May livestream will be on Friday, May 23rd. 3rd at 7 o'clock in the evening Belgian time. I will already create the event or like the announcement for the live stream on May 1st, so you can already save it so you can hopefully join. Feel free to let me know in a comment down below which books have you read during the month of March, which ones did you enjoy, which ones did you maybe not enjoy as much, because I would love to know and I would love for you to share your thoughts with me. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you haven't already and you'd like to be, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week and I would love to have you for every single one of them. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye!